Hello, welcome back, everyone. This is episode 5 of the Average Fan Podcast. I'm joined today, as always, by my co host, Michael.
Hello, hello.
Hello, how was your week this past week, Michael?
I can't complain. I had a real calm, easy week. Nothing crazy happened, which is fortunate. You don't hate those kind of weeks.
Oh, that's good. Same for me, pretty relaxed, just kind of hanging out. I know that your Falcons had a bye this last week, so well, you just had your UGA game to watch on Saturday. How was that?
Oh, dude, I love watching UGA outside of when we play Alabama. Apparently, I'm a big fan of what we did to Kentucky. We really gave it to them, um, to say the least. But I mean, it's Kentucky, so like I didn't really expect to lose. So it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I actually got college football 26 over the weekend,
Oh,
so I'm
did
pretty
you?
excited about that.
I've heard that one's
Yeah,
good.
it is good. I'm trying to do so. I think everyone on this podcast either who watches this either knows me or can see the Spartan flag in the background. But a fan of Michigan State, and we kind of got manhandled by Nebraska this weekend, which was just probably one of the most painful experiences of my entire life. So I don't need to say much more to that.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola, that Patrick Mahomes clone, gave you that Magnum rubber, man. That's just what happens. It turns you into the wrong Trojan.
I could spend the whole episode just ranting about it, but like our special teams gave them 2 touchdowns. Like that's crazy.
Dang, I didn't
Like
even.
that's just no, literally. I know you didn't watch it. You probably haven't heard the clips, but we had one where we muffed a punt. It was like a 10-yard touchdown from there, and then the same thing happened. Like we had it tied up in the third quarter, and then it just all fell apart. But that's not what we're here for. We're here because of the NFL season. We're going into week 6. And I don't know how you're feeling at this point because we're a good way in, but since I've been paying attention, this is already one of the most interesting seasons I can remember. It's the first time I think I saw since like 2004, 2005 that there are no undefeated seasons by week 5 or no undefeated teams by week 5.
Yeah, no, it's pretty insane to be honest with you. I didn't even know that that was like a thing. I thought surely it wouldn't be that long ago, but I got proved wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's been hellacious for my fantasy team, which we'll get into at the end,
Hellacious.
but
One would think that you're like an English major or something. I don't think I've ever heard that word in my life.
you've never heard the word hellacious
No,
before,
is that
Michael?
okay? Hellacious is not like a common word.
Not well, Michael, but you're in college. You should know that word.
Okay, I mean, how many people do you think have college degrees and they don't know what a plutocracy is? You know what I mean?
Okay, to be fair, I'm like a political science major and I barely know what a plutocracy is. I don't think those are equivalent words.
Hey, it's what we are now. The real
Okay,
ones
it's
know.
we're getting sidetracked here. You know what? Let us know in the comments down below. What is a more obscure word, plutocracy or hellacious? Anyway,
I'm gonna win that one.
I was upset this week because I made a lot of like not necessarily upsets, but I felt very confident in this last week for my picks, and I think I literally got half of them right. Like it was very bad for me.
Yeah, that is undeniably tough. I don't think I pooped the bed.
Oh, I shit the bed. Very.
Yeah, you really blew it out of the water.
Don't giggle at me. It's not funny.
um, but yeah, just like how I'm gonna win this bet with our fans, I'm also probably gonna win this week with our predictions. You just know it.
Um, I think you definitely are. I mean, just for the. I mean, I was seeing because I didn't watch all of the primetime games, but I watched 2 of the 3.
Hmm.
All of them are pretty good. And the first one, the Niners versus the Rams, I was so mad that the Rams lost because I like Matthew Stafford. He's for being old, he's balling out almost 400 yards of passing. Like the Rams just again like when we were talking about Sean McVay is coaching his ass off, and the Rams in some of these games just kind of keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, that's kind of like the common thing that just keeps happening to the Rams. I mean, well, not often because I mean they've only lost twice, but it's been like both of their losses have been just self-inflicted wounds. I mean, to be honest with you, can you really call that loss against the Eagles self-inflicted wounds? I mean, that's just God intervening at that point. But this one,
Yeah.
this, I mean, dude, I mean, I know Mac Jones is playing pretty good, but
Is he gonna take Brock Purdy's job? I wouldn't be surprised if he.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was thinking about it. I 100% would start Mac Jones over Brock Purdy just because Mac Jones has the size advantage, and I just feel like it's more vital when you're in an offense like they're in. Like he's played how many games? 3.
Brock Purdy is kind of a twink for like a quarterback. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Anyways, so like that starting with Thursday night, that kind of was a bad tone setting precedent because then the Browns almost beat the Vikings, and Dylan Gabriel had a good first game,
Yeah,
but they just, I mean, it's like the Browns won the turnover battle. They had almost the same number of yards as Minnesota, yet they couldn't do anything, which is just frustrating. But again, Kevin O'Connell, I think, just called a better game.
yeah, for sure. I think it's really funny. I mean, I was kind of rooting against the Browns. They were like winning for most of it, and I was like, dang, they really about to win. I guess good for him. But you know, the streak. I think I can't remember the exact number, but it's really bad. QBs making their first start for the Cleveland Browns are like 0 and like 30. And I mean,
Are we gonna see a Shadur start by the end of the season? That's the real question we need to be asking.
I think an expectation of the the Browns is that he is going to start for them at some point, which is crazy. Um,
Yeah.
because they're not even listing him as QB2 right now. I think Bailey Zappi is QB2.
Even after they traded away Joe Flacco, that's so disrespectful.
It's insanely disrespectful. And it's just as much like and if he for some reason then like refuses to play for them or demands a trade, they're gonna like look at him and be like, oh, he's a problem. He gave up on the team. In reality, the team probably drafted him just for like the clicks, to be honest with you. I mean, they probably drafted him because they were cloud chasing. Um, I just the way Cleveland is playing, like managing their team, it's horrible. They're mismanaging everything.
No, it's classic Browns behavior.
Yeah,
And like the whole AFC North, I think is kind of, it's very interesting, dare I say, in shambles, because then for the next game it's like Texans blowing out the Ravens. So the Texans, like, the main storyline this entire season is that the Texans suck, and then they drop 40 on the Ravens. Like, I know the Ravens are injured, but that's also like, I don't know, it's the main thing of this week is who is even good. Again, like, I genuinely don't know anymore.
yeah. I guess the stat to look at for the Ravens would be like what average field position did the Texans start on? You know, I mean, if because obviously they didn't. I mean, they kicked a field goal in the first quarter and then a touchdown at the very end of the third. But like, how many drives only went like a yard or 5 yards? So it's like the defense wasn't as injured or as seriously injured as the offense was. I mean, you don't have Lamar Jackson. You're starting Cooper Rush. It's just not going to go well.
Yeah.
But one would assume that a defense like the Ravens would be able to, at least keep them in it. They're missing Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton, which is huge, to be fair.
But it's interesting because it feels like, going back to the 49ers, it's a tale of like two different teams and how they're handling having injuries, because like half the 49ers team is in the hospital. and same with the Ravens. But the Ravens are just getting destroyed, whereas the 49ers are finding ways to win games.
Yeah,
And so, yeah,
good point, Ben. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, you let CJ Stroud drop 4 TDs on you. Guess how many TDs he had the whole season before that game? It's four.
three,
Yeah, you were
four,
close.
yeah,
It's four. So it's like, I mean, the dude almost had a perfect passer rating, and and this has been an offense that has been struggling against pretty,
everyone they struggled against the Titans. Like,
a lot. Something big has to happen in that Ravens locker room. It needs to happen quick, because if the difference between you being 4-1 and 1-4 is purely like your starters, then you're just like a thin team, and you can only make a run if everybody stays healthy, which is
yeah,
almost
and that's
impossible.
I mean that's a good point too. You got to have those depth pieces. But yeah, what is this next game, Michael? I'm sure that you weren't feeling very happy about this.
No, this is New Orleans versus New York. The Saints actually won. Spencer, as much as I hate to admit it, Spencer Rattler has been playing somewhat well the whole season. Um, he just is cooped with a team that sucks. This is not his best game of the year, which is funny to say. Um, but I think it is his most yards, which is good.
I mean, yeah, it's the Giants. They had 5 turnovers. I think that's the main reason they lost is they just. I mean, the only game I've ever seen, and I'm about to do some Jared Goff glaze here. The only time I've ever seen have 5 turnovers and end up winning was the 2024 Detroit Lions. That's when Jared Goff threw 5 picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no excuse for 5 turnovers. Jackson Dart beginner's luck has ran out. We are now back to typical New York, and you can't. What's funny is that once you bench Russell Wilson for Jackson Dart, like you're stuck with Jackson Dart, and I mean, you give Cam Scatterboo 15 carries, he doesn't even get you 60 yards. I mean, they're missing Tyron Tracy, but still, uh, good on the Saints. But they beat another 1-4 team. So I mean, it was a battle of bad.
Yeah, but then this next game might have been one of the games of the week. And I feel like another story from this last week was like teams coming back. And this is Denver versus Philly, where Denver was down 3-17 and then scores 18 points in the fourth quarter to go up and win the game, which is very impressive. Saquon Barkley only had 30 rushing yards, so I just feel like you put me in the box with 3 buttons with like just automatic like coaching suggestion Madden plays, and I will just hit the button, whatever button, and I will call plays better than the offensive coordinator be.
Yeah, at this point, Madden plays would be better. But also, I want to highlight a player on the Denver Broncos that is having a career year. Nick Bonito.
Yeah, Benito. I saw he's leading the league in sacks right
He has
now.
7 in 5 weeks. He's averaging over a sack a game, which is nutty. Um,
Absolutely nutty.
he has 12 tackles and he's an edge or a line. He's a linebacker, but I'm pretty sure he plays on the edge. He
Yeah,
rushes a lot. Um, I mean, he is stuff like their defense. Like that's what wins the game here. Because I mean, you keep Philadelphia down. Not. I mean, I know you're losing 17-3, but like that's only 2 touchdowns worth of comeback points. That's easy. So good on the defense to actually keep them in the game. Um, good on J.K. Dobbins for giving me 16 points on my bench. I guess, but it's good to know that he can, still give it to him. Um, Zach Bond had a really bad play hitting somebody while he already slid,
yeah.
and that didn't help at all. But how much is it on Zach Bond that he loses a game like that versus the Phillies, who could only put up 17 points to Denver's 3 through 3 quarters when you're supposed to be the 4-1 undefeated Super Bowl reigning champions. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's nothing more that I think I have to add to that. It just I don't think the Eagles are playing to their potential, and this is reminding me of when they collapsed 2 years ago a little bit. And I don't think it's going to be the same thing, but
Honestly, I'd kind of be here for it. I think those Eagles fans need to
oh
be
yeah,
humbled.
Eagles fans need to learn to stop talking as well.
Yeah, but moving on to a game that's probably not that important in the grand scheme of things. We got Dallas versus New York. Typical play, high powered Dallas offense versus New
Yeah,
York Jets.
Dak is playing really well.
Yeah,
I kind of feel bad for Justin Fields at this point because from what I'm seeing, it like wasn't really even his fault that they lost.
no, I think it's a lot of just the defense in general is bad. Aaron Glenn, the Jets are averaging like 20 points a game, so it's not even like in general, it's not an offensive thing. It's a defensive thing. I mean, you look at their record. I mean, they're letting up the least amount of points they've let up this year is 27. 27. And you just can't as a team, you're putting up 22, 21, 27, 32. They put up 10 against the Bills, but let's not talk about that. You're putting up like winning numbers, and then your defense lets up losing numbers. So that's the story of the game.
And they're supposed to be like a defensive heavy team as well. They have Aaron Glenn as their head coach.
Yeah,
I feel like we expected more from them. They have the talent there,
they
and
need to
they're
change.
just not. Yeah,
They need to change their ugly ass uniforms. I hate them. They're
yeah,
cursed. They left the old uniforms, and this is why they have a curse. So once they get out of those unis, they'll be good.
yeah. For our next game, another one that's not important. I feel like it just continues the storyline that these two teams have been on. I'm speaking of the Raiders versus the Colts. Indiana Jones again playing very efficient football.
Indiana
Jonathan Taylor,
Jones.
Jonathan Taylor making an argument for offensive player of the year right now. I
Yeah.
mean, he's 3 rushing touchdowns is crazy. Geno Smith is in the conversation for the worst quarterback in the league right now. So I don't have much more to add. Do you have anything, Michael?
No, not really. I just like the Colts are having. Colts look like they're a very fun team. They're also scoring heavy, so um, I'm having fun watching them. Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders. Well, what a Freudian slip, huh?
Throwback.
The Las Vegas Raiders have severely let me down. I don't think my prediction for them, you know, is gonna hold up. I think they're probably gonna. I mean, the way it's looking, this is a bottom 5 team in the league. Nevertheless, fourth in the division.
I watched this YouTuber. I don't know if you've heard of him, Tub Frog. He's a pretty big YouTube channel for like football, and he's a Raiders fan. And he does like a weekly recap, and he's always just like I don't even have like a rant left in me anymore. Like I just don't care. Every Sunday it rolls around, and I don't look forward to the game. Like I don't expect us to win. I'm not mad when we lose. Like I just feel like being that beaten down as a fan must just suck because you have nothing left to like look forward to.
Yeah, bro. I'm at.
Even if you win, it's just like, oh, our draft, like we just completely screwed over our draft pick.
Yeah. What's funny is like you and I both know exactly what that feels like. Your entire franchise history and my entire franchise history, at least for the Falcons, minus like 10 years where we were actually like pretty good, not in a row, but just like the in franchise
Just individual seasons.
yeah, in
Yeah.
franchise history. I mean, everybody knows Desmond Ritter. Everybody knows our Marcus Mariota time. None of it was good. I really, really hated those days. And there would be times where I would not look forward to the games. My friends would say, "Hey, you want to come watch football?" I would say, "No." And then I would like watch
Well,
the
yeah.
game, and I would like pout and watch my games. So
But yeah, I mean, for the Lions, it's like we have one of two of the winless seasons in all of NFL history. Like we have that, and then I mean, it's a whole. You could spend 3 hours going through the whole history, but I was born in Michigan. I wasn't a Lions fan really until we were good because again, it's like I had no reason to care. Like, why am I gonna watch a team that wins 4 games a year every year for 30 years? Like, I genuinely can't make myself care. And I know like there was the Megatron years where we were good for a couple seasons, but it's not consistent enough that you actually want to pay attention.
Yeah, that's I get that, especially with I was the same way about the United Braves, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to this next game. This is the Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins. Big shocker, not a huge shocker, but a shocker in general. The Panthers win this one. They come back.
Another comeback game.
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly we had a lot of these this week. They come back. I mean, it was 17-10. Um, you know, Carolina just takes hold. Rico Dowdle, 23 carries, 206, one touchdown. He literally won them the game because Bryce Young didn't even put up 200. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns and a pick, but Rico Dowdle was a carrier. And
how do you think Tyreek is doing? Do you think he's happy to be out?
Yeah, I think I don't know why, but I feel like he doesn't want to play football anymore.
Yeah, he has a lot of kids to take care of, or not take care of, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He has a lot of child support payments, so maybe he does stay in the league. So who knows? But like, I just don't get what happened to the Dolphins. Like, I guess it has to be a defensive thing because for once Tua put up a game with no picks, 3 touchdowns. I just don't. I don't know what kind of fix they need. It's not the offense. It has to be the defense. I mean, they got to start making. I mean, it's like they have Minka Fitzpatrick. Is Holland still on the team? Javon Holland.
He might be. I'm not sure.
I know he used to be there. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, there was a piece. There was a piece released in the Athletic today that was talking about unsealed documents against Tyreek Hill and his alleged abuse case. So, maybe it's a good thing he got hurt because we don't support that on this channel.
Yeah,
so.
definitely not. If that's what it is, karma comes back and bites you in the butt.
It does. We saw that with Deshaun Watson last season. May he rot in pieces.
Yeah, may he forever be a practice squad player.
But Michael, I know we've talked about this every week. You like Baker Mayfield, but you do not like the Buccaneers. This next game, contender for game of the week. I'm seeing between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, they missed a total of 10 passes out of like 70 attempted.
Yeah, dude. They were going stupid.
And Emeka Ibuka is doing really well, and someone in my league has him on his bench. I don't think he's been paying attention, and I'm like, that like hurts me.
Oof, man, I don't even notice that.
This was a crazy good game. Sam Darnold's looking very good, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, surprisingly, Sam Darnold actually looks good. JSN has been putting up numbers. He's been really carrying my team. So I love seeing that from him, and just this high-powered offense from Tampa without Bucky Irving is nutty. The defense played well with they didn't play well. Sorry, they had no sacks. To Seattle, who they had a half sack, but is that really much better? Almost an even split of time of possession. This was just a good back and forth shootout. You just love these things.
Who doesn't love a shootout?
Who doesn't shootout? And a lot of people are huge fans of the Bucks creamsicles. Well, these aren't the creamsicles, but these are just general throwbacks. I like the all whites. I'm not a fan of the orange, especially not a fan of the actual uniform they're inspired by.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that they got a division win, but you can't be mad at a game like this.
I mean, I'm hoping that Baker Mayfield is in the contention for MVP because he deserves it so much.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's gone through
undoubtedly.
It just, as someone who I just think the Cleveland Browns memes are so funny of you get rid of Baker and his career seems dead, and then he rises from the ashes and gets an MVP with the Buccaneers. I just think is hilarious.
Yeah, they I don't know if you saw the clip. I think it was from last week where Baker is talking about, I think, whatever team Andy Dalton is on. He was talking with Andy Dalton, and No. It was about this week because it was talking about Sam Darnold, who also both of them were on the Panthers at the same time. And so one of the reporters asked, "Hey, did you guys reminisce about old times, like the good old days?" And he was like, "The what old days?" And the reporter, "Good old days." And he was like, "No." I mean, dude, they
I
had
would not miss playing for the Cleveland Browns. I would not do that.
yeah. Baker's had some trouble after he left Cleveland. And after that Rams game where he came in off of like a day or two and had that game-winning drive, just a resurgence. I hate that he's in my division, but at the same time, I mean, iron sharpens iron. We're only going to get better because he's there. Especially when we're trying to come up. This is the next Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton era, and I'm here for it. The NFC South is actually historically. I don't know. Let me tell you.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst division in the league for the first time in a hot minute.
Yeah, I mean, ever since like 2018.
And going back, and we'll be done. We'll move on to the next game after I say this. But like, I do think the worst division right now could arguably be the NFC North, or not the NFC North, the AFC North. Excuse me.
What a slip.
Like,
as of right now, yeah,
so that's very surprising.
it's hilarious.
This next game is, if we're talking about things that are hilarious, the Tennessee Titans beating the Carolina Panthers.
The Arizona Cardinals
Is, yeah, my mistake. The Tennessee Titans beating the Arizona Cardinals. Sorry, I have a Coney dog coming, so I'm a little bit distracted.
A what?
Uh,
A Comey dog?
a Coney dog. Do you know what that is?
Not off the top of my head.
Bro,
Wait,
you don't know what like a chili Coney dog?
Please spell that bad.
Dude, I'm about to change your life. Look up. It's a Detroit style hot dog.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever had this Detroit style hot dog? No, I don't live in Detroit. All beef frank with natural.
Yeah, Kogel's. It's Kogel's hot dogs. Okay, real ones. If y'all from Michigan or the Midwest, I don't know where Kogel's goes to, but that is the best hot dog you can get.
Oh, dude, wait, this is so funny. They have two different types of Coney dogs, and that's because Flint, Michigan can't use water like in the same way that the rest of Detroit can. So it literally it defines Detroit style as a wetter, chili top.
You think Flint is funny, Michael? You think you can laugh at the brethren of my state, and I'm gonna just let you do that?
Yeah, why don't you drive over there, drink some water, and then come back to me, huh?
No, I'm not gonna go drink the water from there. Do you think I'm crazy?
Listen, you can't tell me that's not hilarious. That Flint style is his thing, just because they can't use the water.
They have a different Flint style hot dog. Like, that is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
But yeah,
that's cool.
Anyways, going to the game, seeing the Cardinals completely like just throw away a game.
Oh yeah.
You don't see that very often, and it's perfect for the Cardinals, giving the worst team in the league and probably one of the worst teams in the last few years their first win, where Cam Ward doesn't throw a touchdown, like, and he just has like a turn. Like, I just don't know how it happens.
Yeah, dude. The funniest part is, they just locked in at the end. I mean, you go 6 points through most of the game, and it's kind of Arizona's fault for only putting up 21 when you're supposed to have a really good team. But I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, except his last name, DeMarcado, the running back. 2 weeks in a row. I think we forgot to talk about it last week when Donnie Mitchell from the Indianapolis Colts let go of the ball before he crossed the goal line. Fortunately for them, I don't think it affected the game horribly, but unfortunately for the Cardinals, where he did the same thing, it did affect the game incredibly bad.
Yeah.
It's a game-winning 85-yard touchdown, and it would literally win you the game. No joke. You would win.
I just don't understand how you can start celebrating before you even get across the goal line. I just don't understand letting go of the ball. That's the part that's crazy for me, because it's like, you think that's football 101 is don't let go of the ball until you're in the end zone.
And that's just, it was such a good play by that guy. And I mean, he's the third string running back. He didn't even think he'd be playing at all.
He's definitely not playing next week. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that will get you benched.
Well, here's the thing: is that Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of the Cardinals, after that happened, marched over to where he was and
Oh,
just
he was like screaming at him. Yeah,
literally chewed him a new one, which is like
valid.
I understand.
But
I
yeah,
understand. You know, you shouldn't like you can't do that necessarily in like a normal workplace. You know, but at the same time, even for the coaches, this is their hopes and dreams that are being put on the line here. And I know that guy feels the same way. You know, whatever Gannon said is nothing close to anything that the guy was saying to himself. Um, but I mean, is he wrong for blowing up? Yes, but is like the reason why he's blowing up wrong? No, you still you gotta be like, yo, what the f are you doing? Um, you know, because it's just like you can't be doing that. I mean, how many the long NFL fans know this is a Deshaun Jackson moment. I mean, this is a known thing that is like super embarrassing. You know, people like doesn't happen often, and when it does, it's like it goes horribly wrong. You know, I mean, it's like you said, football 101. And Gannon ended up taking a $100K fine from the Cardinals, not even the NFL, but the organization that hired him fined him $100K for yelling at the guy. Um, and you know, he immediately said he saw once he saw the video, he was like, "I felt bad after doing it. You know, what I did was wrong," which is good.
yeah. They don't have this. I mean, it's good. It's good he was aware of it. Um, I do. It kind of reminds me of when like Travis Kelsey and Andy Reid start just screaming at each other, and Andy Reid's all it's just like, oh, we're just caught up. We're just two dudes in the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't excuse it, but I definitely like for football, like you're saying, when there's so much on the line, the running like that's the running back's future, that's Jonathan Gannon's future, that's the entire game, that's the season potentially in one play. Like, you understand, but hopefully that doesn't happen again.
but yeah, good for Cam Ward getting the win. Titans get probably their only win of the year. Um, moving on, what do we have here? The Washington Commanders.
Blowing out the Chargers.
Yeah, really giving it to him. This is Jaden Daniels coming back. People were terrified because I mean he's coming back with a knee brace. Last time they had a quarterback come back from a knee injury with a knee brace was Robert Griffin. We all know how that goes. I don't know what happened here outside of like I mean this is a team that just lost to the Atlanta Falcons, who had gotten blown out 30-0 the week before.
Just it seems Justin Herbert was put in a position where he had to like carry the entire team on his back, and I don't think any quarterback can do that.
Yeah, especially being a run heavy team like they are. I mean, the fact that Justin Herbert has 60 yards, he's your leading. I know Omarion Hampton got injured, but this is a depth thing. I mean, they have like three running backs on injury. So it's like, I mean, you got to start bringing people in. You got to start filling these gaps. It can't just be, you know, you cross your fingers and hope. I mean, you have to be prepared for these things. I understand that John Harbaugh is or Jim Harbaugh. Sorry, to be honest with you, I don't even know which one it is. It's one of them. It's Jim. Okay, Jim knows he used to be a head coach before he came back to the Chargers, but maybe because it's his second year, he's still getting to the swing of things again. But yeah, you just have to be better on it. So I think, I mean, when you lose an entire side of the or like type of offense, this is what's going to happen.
But for the next game, this is the one I watched all of, is the Detroit Lions versus the Jake Browning led Bengals, now the Joe Flacco led Bengals. This was a very this is a fun game to watch. I mean, anytime you win, put up 37 points, I don't think you have anything to complain about. Jared Goff is leading the league in touchdowns right now. So, that's good. I know we're not playing against the best defenses, so I'm a little bit nervous for next week against Kansas City, but we'll get to that later. But for the most part, like, you probably don't know who the Lions corners are, which
I know Terry and Arnold.
Yeah, you know Terry Arnold. So I'm glad you know this because he gets a lot of shit for like he draws a lot of pass interference calls, but for the first 3 quarters of the game, we held Cincinnati to 3 points. We're already down our starting corner in DJ Reed, who's on IR for at least 3 more games. Terry Arnold goes down with a shoulder injury, and suddenly Cincinnati puts up 21 points in 15 minutes with Jamar Chase. So, you know, correlation doesn't equal causation, but I do think he gets a little bit too much crap for his performance when for stuff like that I don't entirely think it's his fault. And I think he is very underappreciated and thankfully he will be back before the end of the season. It's not season ending. So,
Yeah, playing corner is so difficult. I you don't wanna you can't do much, especially nowadays. Um, a little contact gets a whole PI call. So I mean, I'm more lenient when it comes to stuff like that. But
yeah, I do think a lot of the calls are kind of like light calls cuz especially with the way that the Lions play on like oh you need to play aggressive. Like I just think he's trying to and I'm not this isn't a bad thing. I think he's just trying to like, play to the player and refs are like, "Oh, you're you're holding Jamar Chase." And it's like, "Well, no, I don't think he was." And again, that might be cope on my end, but I didn't think it was.
I mean, shit. When Jamar Chase puts two touchdowns in 5 minutes, and one of them was a 64-yard pass, I'm not gonna be upset if you get a little aggressive with it. As long as you don't get like super burnt. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, it's do you know how difficult it is to guard Jamar Chase and T Higgins? Both of I don't care that Jake Browning is is your quarterback. Well, I guess Andre Isovius, however you say that. He's also I mean averaging 16.4 yards a catch. I mean that's difficult, and you can see that by the 24 on the scoreboard by Cincinnati.
Yeah, we did have a David Montgomery passing touchdown,
I didn't even see that.
which is always fun. One more thing I wanted to add is I know our starting left tackle Taylor Decker was out for this game, and we had second year Giovanni Manu having his first start. I don't know. You probably don't. You definitely don't know who he is.
No clue.
6'7",
6'7".
like 300, 6'7", 320 pounds. I think he ran like a sub 4.6 40.
Damn.
Absolute like just look him up. Absolute unit. Played for British Columbia. His name is Giovanni Manu. But this was his first start because he played college football in Canada, so he's not used to like playing better teams. And we drafted him as a project, and he was going up against Trey Hendrickson for his first ever start. And I know everyone was giving him a bunch of crap for like not playing super well, but I mean, I kind of felt bad for.
He's from Tonga.
Yeah, he's from some. Yeah, he's from like. Yeah, he's from
right next to Fiji.
Polynesia somewhere. Yeah, he's like all the way from like like I just think that you can't expect anyone to just go in and suddenly not give up a single sack.
Yeah, that's really good.
To Chase Browning. Like Chase Browning did get two sacks on Jared Goff, but like that's Trey Hendrickson against basically a rookie in their first start. I don't really blame him for that.
Yeah, definitely not. No.
But yeah, he did well.
This next game, I think it's another comebacker. I want to say, or at least it was. Actually, no. The Bills almost came back. From what it looks like, I was kind of surprised at first because the Patriots. This is Bills versus Patriots, by the way. They were winning by like 10. And then the Bills started climbing back, and then somehow the Patriots had a great drive to kick a nice field goal. The Bills lose to the Patriots.
Stephon Diggs, 150 yards.
No Drake May touchdowns, surprisingly.
He's fun to watch, though. I think Drake May is definitely in like a contender for being the best quarterback in his class from what I've seen this year.
I think, yeah. Because, man, that's a booty cheek class. I think he is the best because I think that was Desmond Ritter's class as well.
No, that was he started last year, so that's Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix.
Oh well, okay. In that sense, Jaden Daniels still has the crown
But I think Drake May could be coming for it though.
for sure.
Is what I'm saying. I just think this year and I know Jane Daniels missed a couple games, so can't really judge him for that. But
I mean, shoot, he has 1,300 yards.
that's true. How many? There were what 6 quarterbacks taken? Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, Drake May. Oh,
Michael
Michael
Penix.
Penix.
Oh, Penix.
Yeah, for the last game of the week, um, we had the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't even mean to say that, but it just slipped out, and I'll go with it. Losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I personally like. I know Jacksonville is legit. They have a good defense. Trevor Lawrence didn't play terribly, but I do think it's just funny because like I still don't think Jacksonville is like super good.
mm-hmm.
They're definitely a good team, and Trevor Lawrence like stumbling at the end and then still getting in for the touchdown was hilarious. I was very happy they won, but I mean Trevor Lawrence had 2 turnovers. Uh, Patrick Mahomes continues having to play hero ball, which doesn't usually end well. But yeah, I mean, a very good ending to the week, and they were down 14-0 against the Chiefs and came back and won by 3.
Yeah, it was. They actually ended up scoring 21 unanswered points, starting from that first touchdown in the second quarter, all the way up until the fourth quarter when the Chiefs finally tied it up. This was a very fun game to watch in a small sense. In a total in the grand scheme of things, this was a pretty rough. At least for the Jaguar offense, I understand they put up 31, but you have a pick six by Devin Lloyd, and then you have 14 solo tackles by Foye Alulukun. And that's like,
Yeah,
I mean, without those two players, I mean, you lose. I mean, they literally lose. I mean, they do have good DBs, which is surprising, but I mean, the defense carried this one, keeping the Chiefs down, who have been playing like
what was it like 90? Yeah, 98-yard pick six or
it was
something.
in 99 actually. It was like
Yeah, I mean, I love a good pick six. That stuff is a crack.
yeah, it's literally beautiful. So, the Jaguars defense carried. I mean, they kept the pressures on them. The I hate when they do this, but Travis Hunter played a lot of snaps on offense and defense this game, about over like 25 on both sides. And people are saying like, I mean, that's impressive to some degree. He played, I mean, 3 for 64 yards on offense. He had 2 tackles on defense. And it says he has a pass deflection, but it was really just a drop pass by the receiver, and it doesn't tell us how many yards he let up. So I don't. As much as it is impressive that he was able to do that, I could never do that in a million years. But at the same time, comparatively, you are a jack of all trades, but you are at the same time a master of none. So until he
Yep.
just needs to, if he really wants to be successful and not just be some clout chasing guy, I mean, you do have to choose one side of the ball and focus on that. And I don't know which side that should be, but um, maybe that they're trying to, or maybe the offense does need help. I mean, Brian Thomas had the most receptions at 4, so not a good thing. We just need to see more out of that offense, especially if they want to be good. Like I said last week, this was a real test to see if the Jacksonville Jaguars are legit. And
Which yeah, they are. And so I will say this, I even though my picks were terrible, I'm not mad about it because it was a very entertaining week, a lot of upsets. I think we're starting to get to the point in the season where we can kind of tell which teams are good. I do think I want to see like 2 more weeks. I think mid-season, week 7 to 9 is when you really can start to be like, okay, this team is, they might have had a rough game or two, but they're consistently good or consistently bad or consistently just ass. Like I think the Jets. We'll see if the Jets are able to win a game.
yeah, we'll see.
But um, but yeah, I mean I think that wraps up our segment for recap. And now moving into our classroom segment, I think Michael and I decided today that we're going to kind of just walk through explaining a different type of like offense that a team can run. And so I'll start out by I picked the West Coast offense, which is actually very common. At least a modern take on the West Coast offense is what currently um, a lot of teams use. But basic idea behind it is using a lot of short and high percentage passes,
Mm,
excuse me,
paragraphs.
as an extension of the running game. It aims to control the clock, move the chains, and it spreads the defense out more horizontally. So this is like a lot of slant routes, outs, and curls and screens instead of deep throws. And so basically, it just, the quarterback can get the ball quick. They can have very good timing. And if they get the offense in rhythm, it's very hard for a defense to try and stop it, even if they're a good defense, because it's just like, how are you going to stop a quarterback who can get the ball in like 1.5 seconds? And even like a good defensive end, you're not really able to get out and get to the quarterback like that. And so, and this opens up like running backs as receivers. It also opens up the running game because they're going to anticipate that you might be throwing the ball in the middle of the field, and then suddenly there's or a running back coming around the right side of the offensive line. Just keeps the defense on their toes, and you can really just grind out long drives, minimize turnovers, and prevent clock mismanagement. This also is helpful for like if you want to play aggressive and go for it on fourth down. A very high percentage of like completed passes on this. So even if it's like 4th and 1, it's like you're 80% of the time you're probably going to be able to pick up at least a yard with it. Um, and just the brief history is this was developed by Bill Walsh in the 1970s and 1980s with the 49ers. This, it's called the West Coast offense because it started on the West Coast. Joe Montana and Jerry Rice dominated with it, won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. And it's used a lot. I know the Lions use kind of a modern take on it where they run the ball a lot. They do deep shots, but like Jared Goff functions very well in an offense where he just needs to anticipate where his receivers are, and they're not going to be more than 10 or 15 yards out. Just keep it going.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Like it's funny to me, not to, I'm sure most people, but uh, I actually use the West Coast offense in Madden more often.
Yeah, I love a good when I'm stuck and it's like 3rd and even 10 or 3rd and 5. I'm just like, give me a couple of slants, and I know I can get it 95% of the time because I can time it perfectly.
The West Coast is pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. But moving on to arguably probably the more popular choice, at least in Madden, um, we have the air raid offense.
I love a good air raid offense too. Who doesn't
That's
love
what I'm
it?
saying. It's just you see this is the type of thing that where you're trying to keep the defense guessing, not necessarily if you're going to do a a run or a pass, but moreover where you're throwing the ball to. This is the type of play where you're getting the ball into the playmaker's hands quickly, and you're using space and tempo, kind of like keep the defense tired or guessing. It takes real IQ to really stop something like this. Um, the formations is often in shotgun pretty much all the time. And there's usually like one running back, but what you usually see 4 to 5 wide receivers. Because like I said, you're passing and you're trying to spread the field out. Um, you're not typically having a huge number of plays. It's just a couple, and you're gonna practice it like to perfection. You also see a lot of tempo, like no huddle. So stuff like you see this a lot with Patrick Mahomes. They're probably the best example. The Chiefs are uh, for the air raid offense because I mean you pass 40 times a game, but you're still averaging like 4 yards a pass because it's short, safe throws. Eh, and and you have this gets the ball into the playmaker's hands. It allows for um, the talent, the skill positions to really show why they're that. Um, it's quick reads, that type of thing. You don't have a ton of rushing plays. You do have some. But you're not gonna like give it to the running back 20 times unless like you just can't pass. So you don't see that very often. Um, Often you'll see like simple reads that just lets him get out those yards. I mean, you're really just trying to tire out the defenses. So, like I said before, you're getting athletes into space, just letting them do what they want. You see a lot of two-man concepts in it. I think Air Raid popularized the stick concept. You'll see a lot of smash and mesh, as well as obviously four verticals. Because I mean, you were just
I love a four verts too. Like
yeah,
sometimes if I'm just bored in Madden, I'm just gonna run four verts every time and just see if I can keep getting 70-yard bombs.
yeah. I mean, air raid offense is easily explained just by understanding what the name means, which is an air raid. So these are two really good pro style offenses. You know, yeah, exactly. I literally took the words out of my mouth. I mean, your offense runs a bit more, but they both accomplish the same thing, which is you're keeping the defense guessing and you're tiring them out and you're scoring points.
Spreads the defense, so like West Coast spreads it out horizontally, and Air Raid kind of spreads the defense out vertically.
Precisely.
I do, and Michael, you'll be able to see this when you review the footage, but I do have my Coney dog here. For those watching, I got this from University Wiener in East Lansing. So,
Eat it whole.
shout out. Eat it whole. I mean, you get the pleasure of reviewing the footage and watching me down an entire glizzy on camera. So have fun with that.
I can't wait. That's gonna be beautiful. What a delectable sight. So as I explain what we're getting into next, I hope you enjoy every single bite and you don't choke on even one wet sopping piece of your bun. We're going off to our predictors now, our predictions. We're gonna be talking about
Week 6, week 6.
week 6, dude. You can hear that dog in action. Wow. We'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and rip it off with the
The dog in action. I just got that.
it's crazy. It took you a second to understand, but we'll go ahead and start our predictions with the AFC like we always do. This is going to be a London game. All right, this is going to be another 8:30 game that I will not wake up for. This is going to be the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. This one, I don't even need to explain it. I think we've talked about the Jets enough. This is going to the Broncos for pretty much every reason that you can think of. I think we've said it like 30 times per team. Um, I mean, actually, I could honestly see if the Jets can continue to put up 20 points. It doesn't look like the Broncos are very good at responding with 20 points. They kind of play to the level of their opponent. So if the Jets upset here, don't be super surprised, but I still am going to take the Broncos.
I mean, again, I just don't have any reason to pick the Jets.
Precisely.
I just think they're really bad. For the next game, Steelers versus Browns, AFC North divisional matchup. I think the Steelers win this one, especially with Dylan Gabriel going up against a very much better defense than the Vikings in Pittsburgh. I just think that with how Browns quarterbacks play, I think he's just going to get eaten alive. And I don't have much more to add.
Yeah, this is Dylan Gabriel's second start, rookie quarterback coming into Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh not only had a bye week, but I think the Browns haven't won in Pittsburgh since like 2000. So this is a historical type of matchup here in the sense where you could bet on the Steelers. You'd probably get like an extra dollar from what you put in. But I mean, this one's an obvious Steelers win. And if the Browns can pull it out, that was a historical miracle. Nobody could have predicted that. Yeah, moving on to this next game. This is going to be a snoozer based on the way the teams have been playing the last couple of weeks. This is going to be Miami versus Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know who to go. I don't know who to pick here because the Chargers have been lackluster these past 2 weeks, especially with no running backs now. and Miami is, we all know. So I'm just gonna pick the Chargers based off of principle. They still have a good offensive, um, like air raid type of deal. I don't think that's their specific scheme, but I mean they pass the ball well.
Good callback, Professor Michael.
Yeah, good call. um, yeah, Miami just doesn't have a good defense, whereas at least the Chargers have a serviceable defense, which is, even though they're away, I'm taking the Chargers.
Glizzy has been devoured.
Yummy, yummy.
I think that Jim Harbaugh will be able to get a bounce back win, especially against a team like the Dolphins. I know that the Chargers are suffering from a lot of injuries right now, but Miami doesn't have a good defense, and I think Justin Herbert's a good enough quarterback that they're not going to let this derail their entire season and send them to 500. As for the next game, we have a toilet bowl,
to say the least,
between the Titans and the Raiders. And to be honest, this is the one I'm the most uncertain about because I just don't. It's like, which team is going to play worse to me? It's not even about playing better. I do think, just because I think about the Titans and it's like, who's a single player on the Titans that they have that's good? Like what, L'Jarius Sneed, but he played good maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's like, okay, I don't know a single other player on the Titans besides like Tony Pollard and Cam Ward, but that's just, I mean, I think Cam Ward's in a terrible situation and Tony Pollard's getting older. So it's like neither of them are good. But then the Raiders have Max Crosby, they have Ashton Genty, they have Brock Bowers. To be honest, I don't know any other players on the Raiders either, but I trust them more than the Titans.
yeah, that's you took basically. Well, honestly, I was gonna say Raiders here, but coming off of a win, just knowing Geno Smith has been playing like Geno Smith when he was drafted, something's yearning me to get a Titans here. Something, if there was a team that the Titans could go back to back on in terms of just winning in general, it would be the Raiders. So honestly, just to keep things interesting, I'm gonna go Tennessee here. I'm taking Tennessee for the win away. Well, which is, and they're halfway across the country, so
Bold pick.
yeah.
I commend you for that.
Yeah, but there's not much more to say there. I have some news that relates to this next game. This is gonna be the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Seattle Seahawks, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, by they I mean, just got a spanking new addition to their defensive back room, circa 30 minutes ago. The Jaguars are trading Tyson Campbell in a 2026 seventh round pick to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for Greg Newsome and a 2026 sixth round pick. So it's a DB swap. Greg Newsome is arguably better. He's been one of the best spots of that Cleveland Browns secondary for the past couple of years. Tyson Campbell is not horrible. He did go to UGA, I know that. But he just hasn't been as good as he used to be. So it looks like the Jaguars are trying to upgrade here, especially knowing that their defensive backs have been playing pretty good, or their defense in general has been playing pretty good. So this is a huge upgrade.
I mean, you can tell that they're going all in and they believe in this team. So that is heartening.
Oh yeah.
They see something.
But this is also going to be, just the matchup itself is just going to be a clash of the Titans right now, which is funny to say, being Seattle and Jacksonville. I'm feeling Jacksonville. I'm feeling it, bro. I think they're going to take that dub at home with this new addition and that momentum against the Chiefs, and they're going to go up to 5-1.
You know, I respect the confidence in your pick because I agree with everything you're saying, but I'm doing vice versa. I think that the Seahawks win this one. And that is nothing but respect to the Jaguars. I just think that with the way Sam Darnold has been playing, I don't think the Jags are going to get as lucky as they did with like a 99-yard pick six. And I think the Seahawks are a better team. than the Chiefs, but I have all the credit to, you know, Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence and just that whole team. I would like the Jags to win, but my gut is telling me the Seahawks will be able to get a bounce back win here, but maybe this will be a game.
Yeah, yeah, Clash of the Titans, dude. It's totally understandable to go either way.
For the next game, I don't think this is not really hard at this point in the season, but the Rams versus the Ravens, especially with the Rams coming off of a mini bye week, I think the Rams are going to destroy the Ravens. I wouldn't be surprised with the Sean McVay offense if they put up like 40 to 50 points on them. Like, I just think it's going to be brutally efficient.
Yeah,
And I think they're kind of pissed off from what happened. So,
yeah, without a doubt. I'm also taking Los Angeles here. I guess really how close this game is going to be is hingent on if Lamar Jackson comes back, which I don't think he is, but don't quote me on that. Um, I, like we said earlier, this is a thin team, and Sean McVay is the type of guy to take advantage of that. This is a masterclass of a head coach, um, and they're just as a team. I don't think they've had a game where they've really looked bad. So I'm easily going to take the Rams here. Moving on, this next game is probably a midder game. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going Colts here just because I just don't like the way the Cardinals are looking, and uh, you got some weird locker room energy going on right now. Um, Even regardless of how I think it, how right or wrong they are, the locker room still feels a bit weird, especially when your head coach gets fined $100,000.
yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the Colts will be able to pretty easily put this game away. I don't have much to add. I just think the Cardinals are flailing right now, and I think that this last week could have kind of been the nail in their coffin for this season with just how they completely fell apart. And we don't give enough credit to the psychology of these teams, and I think that's kind of what you were touching on. But I just think the Cardinals right now are on the brink of like maybe just completely falling apart. And I'm not saying in the sense of like they're going to lose every game, but I just think they might struggle in every game they play from here on out. For the next game, I have the Patriots over the Saints. I do think that the Patriots, especially with the win over the Bills, have kind of solidified themselves as serious contenders to make the playoffs, and the Saints are not. So I do think that the Saints got lucky last week against the Giants, but also the Giants are just not good. So it's not. I basically the Patriots are in a definitively higher tier than the Saints are.
Yeah, dude, it's not even close. I just don't think it's close. Last week nobody would have predicted that the Saints would have won, even though it's the Giants they were playing against. Um, I mean, it's even though Spencer Rattler's playing pretty well. I just don't. I don't believe in them. The Patriots have been putting up an insane amount of points per game. Last game, even though they scored 23, was a fluke compared to what they've been doing. They've been putting up almost like 40 points a week. And you're going against these Saints defense, who is not good. They're just not. Give me the Pats any day of the week. Moving on to another game I'm not going to watch. This is the Green Bay Packers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Green Bay's coming off their bye. The Cleveland Browns with this like the worst offensive line, and Joe Flacco probably playing with not a full couple of games, or a couple of days to prepare. I just it's not a good look for them. I guess if a quarterback this year was going to be traded, start a team, and then play against a fraudulent team like Green Bay, it would be Joe Flacco. Flack attack, I always believe. Um, I'm going Green Bay handedly.
Yeah, I would, as one of the biggest haters of Green Bay on the planet, I would love it if Joe Flacco went 2-0 against the Green Bay Packers. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I am gonna pick Green Bay, but if there's anything I hope, dare I say, I pray I'm wrong about, is this
It would be so funny if they won though.
so hilarious. The Joe Flacco, that might be the only 2 games he wins, but if it's against Green Bay, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Sunday night game, it is the Lions at Kansas City. I do think that this will be a close game, but ultimately, I mean, the Lions have their defensive tackle, Lee McNeil, coming back from an ACL injury. And apparently he's been looking like 100%. And I know you got to take everything that comes from practices with a grain of salt. But I do worry with the Lions' banged up secondary against the Chiefs. But I mean, the Chiefs are still not going to be able to establish the run, which, you can't have Patrick Mahomes again having the entire game on his shoulders for something like this. So I do think ultimately the Lions will come out on top. I would say Aiden Hutchinson at least gets a sack in this game. Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown.
That's entirely fair. And like you said, this is gonna be a close game. I don't really. There's not. It's a toss up. Um, what I'm factoring in here is, the Lions have had a couple game win streak. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep, 4.
Yeah, and the Chiefs just lost a game they should have won to the Jaguars. I don't see them, especially at home, laying down. Unfortunately for you, man, I have to go the Chiefs here. I think they're really gonna call up everything. I mean, you guys have.
And yeah, that's totally fair too. I mean, again, it's one of those games where anything can happen, and I'm not. Yeah, the world's not ending if they lose this game. I don't.
A literal Super Bowl matchup as well. Just to put that out there, um, this could be really a really fun game. But yeah, um, moving on. This game, I'm excited to talk about. Obviously, this is the Atlanta Falcons versus the Buffalo Bills. This is a pretty no brainer, for most people that exist. And I'm gonna sound so biased when I say this, but I actually do have faith that the Atlanta Falcons can beat the Bills at home, coming off the super bye, because they play on Monday. And they didn't.
Your super buy?
Yeah, we didn't play last week, and we play on Monday, so we just like it's a whole week plus another day. Um, to prepare, like it's more than like a normal bye. But the reason why I think they're gonna win is based on, for one, they almost lost to the Saints. I'm not gonna let that slide. Even though they ended up scoring a little bit at the end, it was close for a while, because the Bills suffer from a poor run defense. The Falcons are fortunate to have a extremely good run defense. They also suffer from poor zone defense, while the Falcons have been doing kind of a zone passing attack, which, in my opinion, is kind of why our team's been hurting, passing wise. But um, if our defense can, you know, only let Josh Allen have the ball, that's a win. And if we stick true to what our offensive capabilities are, I could easily see us winning here, especially at home.
Yeah, much like you with the Lions game, I do think the Falcons have it in them to win this game. But to me, I just see it as like it was a game the Bills should have won. You're playing against Josh Allen. And I just haven't seen enough to feel confident in the Falcons yet. I think they have it in them, but from what I've seen from the Falcons over the last couple of years, and I know the whole Kirko chains like falling apart was just like from what I understand, just like classic Falcons. But are we gonna get the Michael Penix who completely like gave up against the Panthers, or are we gonna get the Michael Penix who absolutely torched the Commanders? So for me, it just kind of depends on consistency. And right now, I just think the Bills are the more consistent team. But for your sake, I really do want the Falcons to win because I want to see just chaos for all of these games. Like if I want a season where the 1 seed is like 11-6, like I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. This is like I said, like I said, I'm taking a super underdog pick. I am in the minority for my pick, and I know that. Um, so yeah, I feel like the right choice would be to do what you're doing.
But yeah, so now for the four NFC games we have, I think the Eagles will handedly beat the Giants. Even though the Eagles are not playing up to their full potential, I just think the Giants are a terribly run organization, and I kind of felt bad for like Brian Dable for a while, but I just don't think he's meant to be a head coach, especially with one that is just as like rotten from the foundation as the Giants are right now. So I don't have much more to add to that.
Yeah, I mean there just isn't much more to add. It's just an Eagles victory, clear as day. They're gonna try to fix what they messed up last week and really give it to the Giants, especially while they're down. Yeah, moving on. The next game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are coming off of a mini bye. Um, and, with Mac Jones, I really like the way they look. I mean, they find ways to win games, and they're the type of team that isn't going to let the game come down to a minute and a half drive by Baker Mayfield to chuck it 30 yards to Mbuka. So I'm actually going to take the 49ers away here.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna stick with the Bucks just because I think Baker Mayfield in every game I've seen from the Bucks, even with the Eagles where like they were down three scores, like I just think that this team has so much fight in it. And even though I think San Francisco is better than I give it credit for, I still think that they're just so injured that like especially on the road in Tampa Bay, the Bucks are coming off of a very hyped up win. I just think they have more momentum, and so for me, my gut pick is I'm gonna go with the Bucks. For Cowboys versus Panthers, this kind of feels like another no brainer for me. I think the Cowboys win this one, even though the Cowboys defense is bad, and we'll see how good they'll make the Carolina Panthers look. I just think Dak is playing. I mean, he does this every year. He's healthy. He's balling out. And so I just think it's Dak. I mean, I know Dak gets a lot of hate, but I personally think he's a very good player, and it's just because he plays on the Cowboys if people don't like him. But I think the Cowboys win this one pretty handedly.
Yeah, it's entirely fair. I'm actually gonna toss it up here. I think the Panthers are actually gonna take this one. I really like how J.C. Horn has been playing. Um, Especially, I mean, I know firsthand what he did to the Falcons this past or week two. Um, they're really gonna eliminate the passing attack from Dallas, really make them lean on Javonte Williams here. And the Panthers don't have a horrible front seven. It's not very good, but it's not like it's average. So if all they can do is run the ball, that's a victory in the Panthers book. This is also at home for the Panthers. I can easily see them winning this. It might also just be like a high scoring game just because the Cowboys don't have a good defense and their offense is playing really well. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take Carolina here. Our final game of the week is a Monday game in addition with the Falcons game. It's gonna be the Commanders versus the Bears. Bears are coming off of a bye here, but the way Jaden Daniels was playing last week against the Chargers, I mean they're blowing them out, especially away. Now you're coming back at home. These fans love that guy, and the Bears just don't do well elsewhere. So I feel an easy Commanders win.
I mean, I agree with that. I just think the Commanders are last year they got the Hail Mary against the Bears, and I think this year I don't think it'll come down to that, but I think it'll be a much better game. But I do think the Commanders are gonna probably win by I'd say between three to 7 points. But that wraps up our prediction segment. Michael, do you want to tell us about your fantasy team this week?
Yeah, dude. I've fortunately won both weeks. Or both leagues that I'm in. Cam Little is my kicker, and I was losing up until that last Jags game, and the last field goal that Cam Little kicked gave me the win. So as a normal person would do, I'm starting him as well. Um, Alvin Kamara is questionable. It's scaring me. Quentin Johnston is questionable. That's not the end of the world because I have Jamar Chase and Drake London. Um, so this week, I mean, we're moving into a nice week here. In both leagues, I got kind of cucked by that week 5 bye. Um, this week, or in this other league, I have Bijan back with Javonte Williams. So my running backs are looking nasty. JSN is cooking for me. Quentin Johnston, I have him as well. So he's questionable, so I'm scared there. I'm kind of wide receiver thin right now because my other wide receiver is Mike Evans, and he's out. So I'm hoping he plays. But fantasy fantasy wise, it's looking good for both last week and this upcoming week.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you did well. I split, but the one I wanted to talk about is this week because the Falcons were on their bye week. Bijan, he was gone, so I had to make some roster adjustments, and I had David Montgomery in and Ramondre Stevenson, and they all played well. And I mean, Brock Purdy was my initial starting quarterback, and I've actually benched him for Matthew Stafford. It was initially my backup, so I got kind of lucky with some of those picks. This week with Bijan coming back, I'm feeling even more confident. AJ Brown is still underperforming. In fact, my best wide receiver is the one I picked up as my wide receiver like 3 or 4, which is Cameron Sutton
Cortland Sutton.
or Cortland Sutton. Cameron Sutton's an old cornerback from the Lions who like threw his partner out of a window. So
Oh, I remember him. Oh my god.
may he rot in pieces. But uh, and then Trey McBride as my tight end. So I had a good week, put up over 100 points again, which that's usually all you can ask for. And then my other league, I'm struggling because I had Joe Burrow, Aaron
Oh,
Jones,
damn.
and George Kittle all in my starting lineup, and now they're all on IR.
Dang.
And so I have Daniel Jones as my starting
That's a
quarterback,
valid pick.
Saquon Barkley, who is not playing well, Cameron Scadaboo as my running back too, and then Brian Thomas Jr., Lad McConkey, Dallas Goddard, Jamison Williams, the Steelers defense, and Cameron Dicker. So I'm making do with what I can. Maybe I'll have to put together like the worst trade in history so I can at least have some player who might be able to carry me to a victory sometimes, but I need to get more than one win.
Yeah, dude. I hope and pray for you, man. That sucks. That's why any injury prone player, if it comes to fantasy, I'm not fucking with you. It's just I can't deal with like half my team being on. I say that and I have Mike Evans on my team, which is laughable, but I mean it is what it is. I still, I mean, you made good waiver wire ads. That's where leagues are won, is sniping up the best waiver wire targets. But yeah, that's everything for this week. I know this is a bit longer than last week, but we were just having a little more fun, getting into it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment on any take that you thought was outlandish. I imagine if we have real watchers, you're probably going to call me stupid for taking the Falcons on Monday.
Yeah, let Michael know how stupid he is because he's been saying some stupid things today.
Yeah, it's just educated stuff. It's like it's like, I don't know if you remember the meme where this dude took a picture of the fire alarm in like 2013 and said this will make sense in the future, and then in the future you look at it and it looks like the Among Us guy. So I'm just a predictor of the future, man. That's what it is. I'm a visionary.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.